Hi, welcome back to Lakeside Quilt Making Arts. I have an update for you on 3 different projects. Three. But first, let me update any of you who also follow my Sunday series, which is all about the Quilt Show's Block of the Month with Jean Kingwell, and that is the Pick-A-Petal one. I did not release a video today, and that's highly unusual because it's a pet project that's particularly important to me, and I'm really enjoying, it's meant to be hand stitching, but I wasn't able to get a video up, and I did release a post on the community page indicating why that is, in case any of you were wondering, because I didn't want to just leave you hanging and thinking I just don't care about the Pick-A-Petal, or that, I'm just being willy-nilly about the channel, and I'm not. But Saturday morning was a tough day. My dog Zoe had an emergency visit to the vet, and that's not going well. But I'll talk about that at another time. And I had fallen the day before, and I didn't have any ramifications the day of, but on Saturday, which is when I'm producing the content for the Sunday video, everything in my body hurt, and especially the areas where I've had surgeries and areas where I've got joint issues and whatever. There was just too much pain going on in addition to what was going on with her. It was best to just rest. So that's what she and I did all day yesterday. And it has been helpful. It was good. I know you guys are not here for drama. You're here for quilting, but this is a blog style video channel. And that was part of my life that impacted our channel. So you deserved some kind of update instead of just thinking that I was just doing whatever, and not trying to stick to a schedule and not being truthful and honest with you. And also being truthful and honest with you guys, I will be spending more time than usual with Zoe for the next little bit here. And that means I'll be making sure that I have less editing to do. So I'm going to make this video rather quick. I won't be doing any close-ups or whatever. Just know that up front. But I do want to walk you through a couple of things, 3 things actually. So on the last video that was released on Saturday, I had finished block 4, which is part of my catch-up series of moving the needle. And the next one we would do this coming Saturday is block 5. As they say, the Lord willing and the creek don't rise. When I'm saying that phrase, I'm thinking of it as an actual body of water. That's what I thought my entire life. I have since learned is actually referring to the Native American Indian tribe. Anyway, today's video that you're seeing is Blockheads 15, if you can believe it. We are halfway through with this. So I'm going to color this up today. Depends on how Zoe does today, if she's going to allow me to actually start cutting as well. I know I won't get done. So you expectations to see a finished block at the end, just take that and set it aside. If this goes as slowly as it might, based off of what Zoe's needs are, this might get tacked on to our Saturday series. And maybe it's what I finish this coming Saturday instead of starting block number 5. We'll have to see how this week goes. And then the other thing, I'm going to at least make a block of the Pick-A-Petal. I didn't get to work on it yesterday, and I don't want to feel like I'm falling behind. Whenever I was doing the Pick-A-Petal in the second month, actually no, I didn't get done with the first month's blocks, and I had to move on to the second month's blocks, and then I had issues with the first month's block, and I wanted to fix that before I moved on, and I did get that fixed. I kind of have to move the needle on things and not leave something hanging over my head that's going to seem to grow and get bigger and feel like a bigger obstacle to come back to. I'd rather take care of it. So I did do that. I figured out some problems that I was having with that block 1 before I moved on to block 2, but then it was time to do block 3. And then that's where we are. So I did figure out that I can do block 2. I figured out how to handle block 2, and I'm working on block 3. This I'm going to machine sew. There's just no real merit in being able to do this by hand. With all that I have going on right now with the duplex and with Zoe's health and, and my own and just managing life in general, there's just no benefit. Being able to do, there's no credit, merit, I guess is the right way to put that. There's just no benefit to doing some of the art things and some of the more intricate designs. Yes, I'm going to enjoy doing that by hand. The applique, yes, I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to put these together by machine. There's just no reason not to do that. Simple straight stitching, I should be able to make some progress. We'll see how much I get done. And it all depends on Zoe. But I do want to, at least on block 15, I do at least want to get this colored, and I do have some thoughts on that. One of the things I'm going to try to work with is see how this one has this dark shoreline fabric in it. And then there's this dark heaviness here. And there's dark over, see if I can point right there. I think we need a few more pops of some darkness, so give those purpose and rhyme and reason. But it doesn't need to be too huge, right? So I haven't decided at this very moment if this needs to be a 6-inch block or a 12-inch block. But I'm thinking that and see how these little stars, oops, see if we can point right there, how pretty those are. Kind of wish that was a bigger block. I do love that color combination. You see how beautiful they are, how well they pop in there. So I'm kind of feeling like I needed another star that's a deep saturated blue. So I think what I'm going to do is this fabric right now. I haven't sat down to actually study hard on this. I'm about to do that, and I'll walk you through that steps. But I think the center of this star, should be that color, and maybe the points of the star either be the exact same thing or be one of these two that's in here, just to try to give it some variation. Okay, those are so close in value to the fabric that I'm considering using for the inner square that I think it will kind of read as it just gets lighter towards the points. And then regarding the square here, the corner squares, I don't really want that high contrast there. It seems rather modern to me, really kind of graphic, and I'm not interested in that. I need something else to point with so you can see better, because I don't know when I last had a manicure. I'm telling you, the work I've done over at that duplex is not manicure friendly. Anyway, but what I'm thinking here is that these are my two different background fabrics, the shirts fabric and the shoreline fabric. And because we did that in this block that we just did, here we've got both background fabrics in this, and I like that. It will help to make the different blocks that have just one background in them and help to blend that. It will be kind of function as a blender block, maybe. It's kind of what I'm thinking. And so I think I'm going to put the shirts fabric on the outside, and then because it's more dense, and then where you see the lighter background fabrics here, let that be the shoreline fabric. That's what I'm thinking right now. And by doing that, since this is less dense, I think what will happen is it will, the background will recede more here, and it will pop more here around the star because it will be brighter than this one. Not considerably, but noticeably so. And with that being so dark, I think that this will seem like it's further away, and then you get a nice radiation out from that. We'll see if that's where it turns out. I think that's the direction I'm going to go. I'll lay down those fabrics for you here in a minute. I also thought about doing something that, and continuing to add a little bit of green. And I've discussed trying to incorporate one of those background fabrics, part of the shoreline fabric that looks like the same design as the background fabric we're using. It comes in a green version. But I know that with all that's going on in my personal life with Zoe, that I probably am not in the best frame to think outside the box a little bit, and so I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to do a nice clean block that is pretty safe in color wise, and I feel confident about, and just make some things sometimes have to be made easy. So I'm going to make, I don't know, a couple of these. We'll see how far I get. I'll show you, and then I'm going to show you the fabric on these. And then the next time you see a Saturday video, I'm either going to be working on block 5 or I'm going to be finishing block 15. It all depends on how things go this week. And in case you didn't see the Saturday video, well, I will show you a picture because I did take a picture of it. But this is our Saturday video. It was block 4. It was finished And then this was our foundation paper piecing, which I'm eager to do, to get back to doing. I really enjoyed learning. It was a learning process for sure. Going back to the Pick-A-Petal, I did receive updated pictures from Jody, and I'm just so excited to share. I've been having a conversation with a couple of different viewers on Pick-A-Petal, and it's just delighted me to no end, Jody and Sherry. I'm going to be getting an address for you guys. Sherry tried to send me a block, and I sent her to my Huntsville address because that mail is a little bit more reliable than it is here. And I gave her the wrong address. I gave her my mother's house number and the street address for my rental house in Huntsville, the duplex. And I felt so bad. So I need to fix that. I need to provide an actual post office box or another business entity. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be getting an address from my long armor Sherry, another Sherry. We've got two Sherrys in this conversation. I'm going to use her address for right now until I figure out a post office box scenario. So if there's anything you want to send, if you want me to showcase it, if you want me to use it, if you want to just contribute to what I'm doing here, if you want to contribute to me in any way, whatever that is, I want to provide a resource for you to be able to do that. And I greatly appreciate anyone's part you guys are pouring into this channel and to the growth of what I'm doing. I've seen a lot of growth in the channel. There's been a lot of people that have come on board and subscribed. A lot of you are coming to this channel via the shorts. And there's just been a couple of lucky hits with my shorts that have been successful and actually presenting something that is kind of challenging, whether it's a pinning or it's matching of your seams or something. I've just noticed a few little video clips that I thought, I think that'd be helpful, and I put them up as shorts. And I try to do that as just teasers for the long format videos, put up a little bit of, this is what you can find in today's video. And sometimes those really resonate. And so we've had some of that happen. And I welcome every one of you who's come onto this channel. And I've just gotten just a flood of comments and encouragement. And it's just really sustained me and helped to drive me and push me. So that's partly why I wanted to come on here and be forthcoming about my existing situation today, so that you guys know that I'm not dropping the ball on anything. I just had a little bit much go on. It is just little old me at Lakeside Quilt Making Arts, and Zoe had to come first yesterday, and my health had to come first yesterday. I do feel a lot better. I still feel a lot of tension and some pains that are just above where they normally are. The fall was fairly inconsequential, which is why I was really surprised that I woke up feeling so bad Saturday. But, it was a fall, and falls are falls. There's a jolt that goes on with them, a kind of a whiplash kind of thing that goes on. And I think that's what I was dealing with. So I just fell down the stairs. I just missed the last step, and I tried to step into it, and like I saw myself falling. Like, I'm not going head first. I'm going to put my right leg out and try to step into it. And that did help a lot. It kept me from hitting my head or running into the frame around the doorway into the studio here. And it did help a lot. And I did not hit my head, did not hit anything besides falling on my hip and my leg somehow. I can't look down. And so I know stairs are always going to be a trip hazard. The end of my glasses are where I see close up and not distance. So I just kind of gauged it wrong. Normally I'm feeling with the heel of my foot where the step is before I go down. But I told myself that I saw that my next step was ground level. And so I stepped heavy and quickly figured out that that was wrong. But I continued to push into that step so that I would fall in a forward motion, like a controlled motion. And that's why everything turned out so good. So I just, it was a wake up call that even on that last step, I have got to take my measures of making sure where my footing is going to be. So that's more information than you guys want to know. But again, I just wanted to explain. And let's get back to quilting now, our favorite topic. This is what I'm going to do. This is going to be the center square of the star. These are going to be the points of the star. See how it's going to radiate out from that center square. And then this will be our first inner layer of background fabric. It's going to be just like the other background fabric, but it introduces our green. and it will help this green to make sense here and the green elsewhere in the quilt to make sense. And then this will be our background. Now that I'm rethinking it, I switched out this fabric for the darker version, and I think I might want to do that one instead. I like how it's really a lot closer in value. I don't know, which one do we want to do? Everything else remains the same. Let me divide it. Yeah, I think that is a good way of looking at it right there. And I really think that I like the lighter one. I like this one best. But it depends, right? Like you can get lighter sections of this fabric, excuse the threads and such. I'm not taking time to making it really pretty. Yeah, I think we go with this one. Oh dear, I've got a third option to look at, and I'm liking it a lot. It does not utilize green anywhere except for that center square, and I think I'm going to have to be okay with that because I like this a lot. And I like it a lot because of the variety and scale. This is obviously much bigger than the other two. This is much smaller, and so you get your small, but not as dense as this. This is a bigger print, but more dense, and it's brighter. You get your deep value here, and it's not as densely patterned. You've got a couple of bright spots. Your bright spots there, pick up the bright spots here, and then this blends. Of course, it blends well. This is off on one fabric line, the Shoreline fabric by Camille Roskelly. But then you've got your really micro scale, medium scale, smaller scale. I like this, and then your background really stands out as a background. But these two working in the background positions work well as backgrounds. So I'm happy with that. This is the one we're going to go with. And by the way, do you remember if you looked at Saturday's video? I think it was Saturday's video. I was wondering where this was when I was pressing open some seams. I had pulled it over to this workstation over here. But I need to keep this at the ironing station because it is fabulous for opening up seams and pressing them down. This is a pecan picker, and it is a great little tool. To all the new subscribers and to everybody who's been subscribing for a while, thank you for being here. This is a Learn With Me channel. It is vlog style, so you'll get little glimpses of how things are progressing. And through that, you see a little bit of my life in it. I'm trying not to overload you with personal stuff like you are seeing in this video. The happenings of my personal life just happen to interfere with our channel, so I felt like you guys deserve to have some answers on that. But I won't be overloading you with personal information, but you'll see enough that it is considered a vlog style channel, and it is a progressive experience that we're doing here. I am a fairly new quilter. I'm not widely experienced, but I do try to be a quick learner on things. That's partly why I'm doing so many different projects, so I can learn from different people all at one time. And that helps me to actually be relevant to more of you as well. And I hope that I can be responsible in how I'm sharing information out. As I'm curating tips that I think will be helpful to you, I am trying to share those. I try to make sure that those are not things that are not well vetted, that I've experienced them, I've seen how they work, I know how they benefit me. I try to be responsible about that. There's just so many ways that we all come together to try to do any one thing, whether it's just bringing your points together, whether you pin or you don't pin, how you pin, which pins you use, so many different things. And some of that depends on which machine you're using or which foot you're using, all the different things, which threads you're using. There's too many variables. So I'm just trying to contribute and be one voice out there and to try to help share that body and grow that body of knowledge that we're all trying to contribute to. And as we do that, we are bettering the arts of quilt making. And that's my intent. That and, having a good, healthy place for us all to come and hang out and be together and, just enjoy watching beautiful things come together. That it just inspires me. I've been an artist, I think, my entire life because I grew up in a household with my mother creating artwork for our walls. It was just a natural thing. It's just what you're supposed to do. I remember my elementary school teachers telling my parents that I had talent. I painted a lot in my youth and painted better than I can now, actually. I think some of that had to do with how you process time in your youth. You got all the time in the world. You can kind of zero in. And I think if I were to give painting And I was doing oil painting at the time. I think if I were to give painting, whether it's oil or watercolor or anything, the kind of time that I'm giving now to quilting, I think I could be good again. But in my adolescence and early teen years, I was better, and later teens, I was better than I am now. Um, and I think it has to do with a focus, being able to focus in on it. And if I'm going to give anything that kind of time, I'm giving it to this because of the productivity of it and how it is an experience for others on a tactile basis. It's something that someone can use. And it's not just making pretty things that go on a wall that somebody will tire of one day and it just gets trashed. Somebody may tire of this and it may get trashed one day, you know, and it may not ever be appreciated. Who knows? But the intent behind it and all the others and all the other quilts out there. And some will be on a wall and meant for a wall. And that's just part of it. You know, sometimes you're making it for the experience and ever how long it lasts as an art piece and has value as an art piece. You know, that's not so much why we do it. As long as it ever had any of that, then we're good for it. So that's kind of my take on this, is that I'm here to just celebrate making beautiful things, contribute to everybody else who's trying to do that. And with that, I'm going to shut up talking about the bigger picture of the art that quilt making is and get back to actually doing some. Let's do it. I think I'm going to call it quits at this point and spend a little bit of time with my Zoe outside. We're going to just lie under the trees and look at the lake and just chill for a little bit. It is a Sunday after all. That's what Sundays are supposed to be for. So I've moved the needle a little bit on the log cabins for the Pick-A-Petal and got a little bit of experience with that. It's my first set of log cabins. I've been saying it's my first set, but I think I may have done a set back in the 90s or experimented with it or done something. Oh, I know I did. It's a Santa Claus quilt that I did. I remember it now. Anyway, it was good to get my feet wet with the Pick-A-Petal, and I kind of got myself committed with the next Blockheads 15, and I'll work on it again tomorrow so I can release it on Tuesday. And, well, probably a combination of it and the Piece and Quilt sampler, because that's when it's supposed to start. And I want to make a little bit of progress on it too. So I'm just moving the needle where I can, a little bit here and a little bit there. But today I'm moving the needle a little bit more towards caring for my puppy and giving her some special care. And that's good. That's all right. Even if I have to play a little bit of catch up later on. She sees some fisher people walking down the road, so she's barking. It's okay, Zoe. Thank you guys for being here, encouraging me and growing the channel with me, you know, making the comments and giving me the encouragement and the advice and telling me whenever I've given you something that has helped you. All those comments, it means the world to me. I really do appreciate you participating in this channel and encouraging it and helping me grow it. For me to grow it in this community of Lakeside quilt making arts. Thank you for being on this journey with me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.